Hello, viewers. Thanks for tuning in. This is my Remembrance Day project assignment, and today I'm presenting to you Dr. John McCrae and his horse. Today I'm here at his house and memorial, which I'll be teaching you guys about. Here we have the street, which is named after John McCrae. It's called McCrae Boulevard, and you can see the little poppy seed there because he was one of the many victims in World War I. Pretty nice place he got here. So, Dr. John McCrae was a Canadian lieutenant colonel, poet, and physician. He is very well known for writing his poem Flanders Fields whilst fighting in the First World War. He was born in Guelph, Ontario in 1872. McCrae was a trained doctor who served both in the Second Boer War and World War I. He served as a medical officer for the Canadian Expeditionary Forces, and he was treating soldiers on the front lines. As for Bonfire Jr., he was McCrae's horse and would help the doctors and nurses get to the wounded in the First World War. Other things that Bonfire Jr. and millions of other horses would do during the war is deliver messages, pull equipment through the fields during the First World War. Bonfire Jr. became more than just a mode of transportation, but a companion for Mr. McCrae. Their bond grew very strong as McCrae and Bonfire got through tough times. Bonfire gave emotional comfort during the hardships and of the war, and symbolizing a sense of loyalty in otherwise brutal environment. As you can see, I'm sitting right in front of his very doorstep. This is John McCrae's house in Guelph, Ontario. And so Dr. John McCrae untamed his horse as a gift during his service in the First World War. Likely it was part of his role as a medical officer. Horses were essential during the war for transportation, especially for doctors, officers, and sometimes even soldiers who needed to move quickly across the battlefields between medical stations. It's likely Bonfire Jr. was assigned to him by the military, as horses were standard issue for the doctors. So I'm sitting on his porch right now. Dr. John McCrae and Bonfire served on the Western Front. Mr. McCrae was stationed at multiple locations like Belgium and northern France, where he worked hard as a field surgeon and medical officer. McCrae and Bonfire spent a significant amount of time at Yerbs, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, in Belgium. This is where McCrae wrote his iconic poem Flanders Fields, after witnessing so much death and despair, especially the death of his best friend, Lieutenant Alex Helmer. It had a profound impact on Dr. McCrae, and his horse Bonfire helped him immensely through this time by giving him comfort and a new companion. I gotta give it to McCrae. The gardening skills are on point. My grandpa definitely has some competition. So, Dr. John McCrae and Bonfire served together from 1914 till 1918. The most memorable time was during the Second Battle of Yelps in Belgium on April 22nd till May 25th, 1915. Because of the intense fighting and the poison gas used by Germans, most likely chlorine, making the conditions extremely dangerous for the soldiers and medical staff, and their animals as well. Attending the wounded soldiers was really hard. During these harsh conditions, Bonfire Jr. became a real hero and who rose to the occasion of transporting the wounded where people could not reach safely. At this time, Dr. McCrae also wrote Flanders Fields. Unfortunately, Dr. McCrae caught pneumonia and meningitis and passed away on January 28, 1918. Bonfire Jr. led the funeral procession as his master, carrying his master's empty riding boots in reverse positions to pay respects to his fallen soldier. It's cool how they made the metal engravings here. You can see all the things he's known for. So, Dr. McCrae served in the First World War due to his dedication to Canada and higher sense of duty, especially because of his medical expertise, both as a doctor and a soldier. He felt a strong responsibility to help treat the wounded and support allies during the war. McCrae previously served in the Boer War in South Africa from 1899 till 1902. When he served in the First World War, he began to feel a strong obligation to return to his military uniform. His service ultimately took a toll on his life, just as the peace treaty was taking place. During the harsh winters in northern France and Belgium, took excruciating rides to move between dressing stations, checking the wounded, or inspecting field hospitals. Bonfire Jr. would provide McCrae with transportation, warmth, and companionship, and endure all the same hardships. McCrae's letters and notes to his family in Guelph reflect his attachment to the horse and his admiration for Bonfire's loyalty, even in the most extreme conditions. That became a symbol of resilience and endurance that both McCrae and his horse demonstrated during the worst devastations of the First World War. Here's some interesting facts about McCrae and his horse. So Dr. McCrae wrote letters to his nieces and nephews and his rest of the family back in Guelph, pretending like they're written by Bonfire Jr. He added a sense of humor to the letters, often giving Bonfire a voice and a personality that brought smiles and giggles to his family back home during the grim days of war. So for the second fun fact, Bonfire Jr. became somewhat of a war mascot amongst McCrae's fellow soldiers. His persistence and dedication brought a bit of relief to the troops who've often found comfort in animals who supported them on the front lines or in the trenches. So, and fun fact number 3, McCrae died in 1918, but Bonfire Jr. was visibly distressed as of the loss of his master. Horses, like many other animals, have a very strong bond with their caretakers, and Bonfire's attachment to McCrae was no exception. At least a month after his master's death, Bonfire can be seen very drowsy and very low energy as a result of his death. And last but not least, my Aspire question. I picked number 2. So students today should know about Bonfire Jr. because his story serves a powerful reminder of the animals and the role they played during wartime. Today, Bonfire Jr. symbolizes both the sacrifice and companionship of all the animals actively involved in the wars, selflessly providing to their masters, soldiers, and ultimately their country. Thanks for listening. And here is downtown Guelph. A nice city, lots of students, Guelph University. I'm probably going there actually. Very nice. Gets this like bloopers. 1914 till 1918. The most memorable time is when this guy on the motorcycle was passing by with a freaking 2-stroke engine and it's not letting me speak. I built one of those like 2 years ago. Anyways, so